Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, thank you for this opportunity to speak on this amendment bill. I am heartened that the government has strengthened our laws to ensure stricter controls and measures towards those who lend money and seek to reclaim their monies, as well as to ensure safety for those who borrow money. As MPs in this House, many of us would have heard from residents their laments about harassment from loan sharks and even licensed moneylenders. I support the government's move to strengthen our Moneylenders Act through this amendment bill. To elaborate, I strongly support the insertion of Section 11A, subsection 10. It is important to keep track of and monitor every employee or person who works for a company that lends money or entity whose core business is money lending. There have been instances where money lending companies have painted themselves to be run by thugs, no different from loan shark syndicates. I've met residents who have shared their nasty experience where the money lender assistants or debt collectors from money lending companies had acted aggressively when dealing with clients in debt collection, with threats and vulgarities hurled at the debtors when the debt could not be paid up immediately or in full as demanded. As money lending companies are registered companies and the assistants or debt collectors are employees of these registered companies, there must be some form of decorum and sense of responsibility and respect in carrying out their duties, even that of debt collection, in addition to having good moral character with no prior criminal records. These assistants or debt collectors who are employees of the money lending companies must be trained, monitored, and disciplined in the ethics of debt collection, not through aggression, but by being firm yet respectful in retrieving the debts owed to the company. I'm sure that there could even be skills future courses on how such skills and ethics can be trained and nurtured for debt collectors. I also support clauses 13 and 14, which make amendments to sections 22 and 22A respectively, where a cap is placed on the amount of interest imposed on the amount borrowed. However, how do the money lending companies, the government, or even employers monitor borrowers' record of borrowing, especially those of their employees? For the banks, there is a credit bureau report that monitors borrowers' credit and record of borrowing, which can be accessed and shared by the banks and with employers. How can we ensure that borrowers themselves do not overextend through borrowing excessively from different licensed moneylenders? While Section 30E makes provisions for a record of borrowing similar to the Credit Bureau report to be made available for each borrower who borrows from money lending companies, I do question why an approved money lending company, which is still a private entity, is the one appointed to maintain such records of borrowers. Why isn't a regulatory body overseen by the Ministry of Finance or the Monetary Authority of Singapore tasked to do so instead? How much borrower information is collected and shared? The fact that this is a private company designated as a credit bureau, the issue of confidentiality and privacy is a concern for borrowers. Will there be a sharing of such credit information of these borrowers among the different money lending companies? On what platforms would such information be shared? And will such information be available under the Credit Bureau report or made available to the banks or employers? I look forward to the Ministry's clarifications on these questions I raise. Notwithstanding my concerns and questions, I support the amendment bill.